her window, might survive. She watched him from the window at the top of the cellar because that one broken window was her only connection with the outside world. The cellar was the only place where she felt safe. The soldier's last movements were slow and painful as he kept trying to reach the comparative safety of the alley. He didn't make it. After he'd crawled only a few meters, there was another crack of rifle fire. It came from the roof, where her brother and his friends had set themselves up as snipers. And with that burst of gunfire, there was an eruption of blood from the soldier's chest. After that, he didn't move at all. When the shooting first started, she tried to sort out the individual sounds, wondering where the bullets were coming from. But as the gunfire became more incessant, she realized it could be coming from anywhere. The militia troops were shouting in a dialect of Serbo-Croatian that she thought was spoken only in the villages across the canyon. She knew they were patrolling the streets, and she shuddered at the idea that they might be getting ready to burst into the house. The electricity and phone lines had been out for days, so she was by herself in the dark, hovered up against the wall, trying to stay safe and keep warm. She had her favorite books stacked nearby, but in the dark it was impossible to read. The only blankets she had belonged to their family dog, who had fled when the explosions began. She had no idea where he'd gone. The day before, a shell had ripped through the nearby house where her friend lived, setting it afire. When she saw that, she ran screeching upstairs, trying to force her way through the door and out into the street. But her brother grabbed her. "You can't go out," he said. "It's too dangerous." She started screaming that she'd never see her friend again, but his grip got tighter. She tried arguing with him. "You and your friends sneak out every night. Let me go." But he pushed her back. "Listen to me," he said. "We're risking our lives to protect you from these animals. We know how to avoid getting killed. There's no place for girls in this fight." She seethed at his words, but she couldn't force her way past him. She headed back to the cellar, where she began burrowing into the dark. From the cellar window, she could see the smoking hulk of their local store. By now, they were almost out of food in the house. When she first headed down to the cellar, her mother had grabbed some slices of bread and a hunk of cheese, leaving as much as she could for the others. Her mother's words trailed her down the stairs, as she kept trying to reassure her that her sister would be coming back soon and bringing food with her. But her mother was talking more and more to herself. A day earlier, she'd walked in front of the window by the sink and was met by a flurry of bullets that sent a shower of broken pottery down on top of her. But she refused to leave the kitchen. Even now she was upstairs, wandering around, sadly trying to prepare a meal with no food and for no one who would sit down to eat it. She was going mad like everyone else. He felt a shove in the small of his back that caused him to stumble into the debris from a collapsed wall. He managed only barely to step to the side of the alley, avoiding the sharpest nails. "Keep moving, you little sissy." The rifle hit him again between his shoulders. "Are you going to act like a soldier, or are you going to keep being a coward?" His tormentor let out a high-pitched noise that started deep in his throat and twisted its way into a screech. It was an obnoxious, grating sound, but he didn't dare act like it was funny. No one ever did. The man doing the laughing was far too dangerous. He had a whole series of animal-like sounds that became even more chilling when he was enjoying some sadistic pleasure. Among the militia troops, it had earned him the name Hyena, the hyena. The hyena kept pushing him down the street toward their unit's temporary headquarters, slowing down only as they passed the burnt-out remains of some local shops. The hyena stopped, shoving aside the remains of a few books that had burst out of the window of a tiny corner store, and pushed his way toward